Welcome back to Startup Accounting 101. This is a video series for founders and small business owners to understand accounting fundamentals for running a business. This is QuickBooks 101. These are the basics and best practices for the most used accounting software of small business, which is Intuit QuickBooks Online, QBO. I'm using a sample company, which is Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. And if you have QuickBooks Online, you should be able to follow along. So we are in the products and services section. So this video will cover sort of mass creation of products and services in QBO. The previous videos of the section, products and services, were creating different types of products or services, but you have to create them one by one. So we were starting with new, whatever it was, you would save and close, and you would just keep creating them one by one. QuickBooks has the ability to mass import products and services. So instead of clicking the new green button, you can do the drop down and there's an import option that comes up. And so, first time importing products and services, it is for us. So all your products and service information must be in one file. So you're going to mass import, put everything all in one file and just upload it all at one time. The top row of the file must contain a header title for each column of information. So there are a couple of required fields depending on what you're importing. So if you're importing an inventory item, then the product name, product type, quantity, and quantity as of date are required fields. If you're importing a service or a non-inventory item, the name of the field is the only required field. So only name is required. Now, there's a sample file that's available, which I would recommend. Go ahead and download that. That way you can open it up, and here it does say, don't import this file as is. Update the data, sample data, to reflect your products and services and remove the cell before importing. So basically delete the cell and then update this information. And all of the columns here corresponds to a field that you would have completed in QuickBooks. So if I put them side by side, I'll go ahead and cancel this and I'll just open up inventory, which has the most number of fields. They all correspond to something there. So this is, the name would be the product service name. Here's the sales description would be down here, this field here. We've got SKU comes next, and type, that is this type. Either it's an inventory, service, or non-inventory item. So now we move along. We've got sales price and rate would be this field here. Taxable or non-taxable, basically just put yes or no. Income account is this field here. Purchase description is down here. Purchase cost, expense account, quantity on hand. Again, only a couple have it. These are likely the inventory items here. Let me just double check. Yeah, these two are inventory items. So quantity on hand, it is also asterisk, is a required item. So quantity on hand, reorder point. Inventory account asset would be this field here. And then, of course, the quantity as of date is this field here. So I'm going to cancel out of here. So I've already done that. So I've updated this to the products that I have already created videos on. So I created some finished goods, raw materials, service, and a non-inventory item. I did milk chocolate, but for the Dubai chocolate series, there is both dark milk chocolate and dark chocolate. So I was able to mass create them just by copying down and updating the information, as well as the SKU numbers and all that. So with this, let's try to import this into QuickBooks. So if I bring that back up and try to re-import. So I'm going to browse for the file that I completed and filled out. So each column, if you downloaded from QuickBooks, all of the column fields should be the same column as the header. But if you changed the title for whatever reason, you changed it to just say inventory, you would just have to map out which QuickBooks fields you want it to write into. So here it happens to be the same. So QuickBooks was able to identify the match. But if not, you would just tell QuickBooks which field you're importing. Then, so here is a couple of red boxes. Okay, so that tells me that these accounts, these income, expense, and inventory accounts do not exist in QuickBooks. So before importing, I need to create them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, because if I try to import, it's going to fail. So it says 0 of 8 products imported. So nothing imported, because I don't have enough of these accounts. So I have to go create them. So yes, leave without saving. So what I will do is I will go to chart of accounts. I will create those accounts. So this is a fun two for one, because you're able to import chart of accounts as well. And same thing, you can download the sample file, and then it will look like this. Again, do not import data for sample purposes only. So you would update this based on the account name, type, and detail type or subtype here. So I've already done that. So these are the accounts that I need and the types. So I've preloaded those. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to find this upload file, if it'll let me. All right. Okay, I'm going to upload this. Okay, I have successfully imported all of these accounts. So if I go back to products and services and try to re-import this, it should work. Okay, so all of the red boxes have gone away. There's only 2 left, which is just the quantity for services and non-inventory items. These are not required fields, so I should be able to go in. QuickBooks should be able to import them, and they have. So now the imported inventory, I have under chocolate bars, we've got dark chocolate and milk chocolate. So, and the quantity. So one of the best practices that I mentioned in prior inventory would be to update the costing. Costing refresh is pretty important, and to have to refresh the costing on an individual, like every single item, would be really cumbersome. So you can also import the costing refresh. So I've done that. So right now I have 39 cents per bar for my cost of goods sold, my costing. And I'm going to change it, refresh the costing. So I've got a cost refresh. And so I've updated it so that pretty much everything is the same except the costing. So now I've been able to reduce the cost by 30 cents or to 30 cents per bar. So what I can do is I could basically overwrite the values for each product or services with the identical name. Now, there's a warning that says that this cannot be undone. All right, so this is something that should be done at the end of the day when there's no more creation of invoices, no more transactions. At the end of the day, that way you don't mess with anything else that somebody may be doing in the system. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and import this. And so now we have a new costing that's 30 cents per bar. And then the case quantity also was updated. Okay. So, let me recap some of the best practices here for importing and actually creation of products and services in general. So the first thing would be you have to create all of the accounts that you will need, the income accounts, expense, and inventory accounts, before importing the file. Otherwise, it will give an error. It will not allow it. Now, just a reminder that, there are certain required fields depending on whether you're importing an inventory, service, or non-inventory item. So that's 2. Thirdly, there is one field that is not in the file. So if you notice that the category field is not one of the columns. So, but I was able to create the categories as well as the subcategories. So to get around that, what QuickBooks did is in the name itself, that's where you would put the category. So if I put this here, so the category would be like chocolate bars, dark chocolate is like the subcategory. So basically that comes before the name, quote, quote, name of the item. So here we have a chocolate bar category, as well as this is the milk chocolate subcategory, and then the name of the item. So that's how QuickBooks handles categories. Everything else has its own field. So that's just an FYI and sort of best practice to be aware of. It's the same thing for raw materials. I was able to do the same just by having it start with raw materials and then the name of the wafers. So that's number 3. And lastly, you can override let me just do it. You can override any item in the products and services listing. However, if you do it, it cannot be undone. So just be very careful if you do that. Make sure you get approvals, make sure you have the right numbers, because once you do it, again, it cannot be undone. So just be very careful about that. So with that, we've finished the imports, and we saw 2 today, which is products and services, as well as the chart of accounts. The next video, we will look at inventory quantity adjustments. So like and comment if you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching.